know this is not a usual question, but our show is about all of the aspects of the arts, including the industry that surrounds the arts. And you must have a really good management team because I noticed that I know when Daniel Champagne is coming before I get information from Citadel House or anywhere else. Is that a big part of your success in your touring?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a great question. I've basically yeah, I've got management down in Nashville. It's Gina Mendello, who is kind of known for a lot of things in my style of music, but probably most notably for managing Tommy Emmanuel for 15 years. She also worked for Sony in Australia and in America and different things. And she's got an incredible assistant, Elise, who's a young graduate from Belmont, which is the big music industry course in Nashville. And yeah, I mean, we kind of work hard together. We kind of book all our shows, so we don't really use agents in different markets or publicists in different markets. And we just kind of zero in on the gigs and have conversations about how we'd like to approach it and look at how all the like it sounds very unartistic, but yeah, look at how all the tickets are selling and what we need to push more and what went well and what we can work on at the end of the tour. I've always been a big believer as an artist that you can extend your art into the business side of the music. So um, that's what I'm sort of always focused on, and I think that Gina and Elise are both incredible at what they do and incredible at applying it to my career.
It's really good to see. I try to emphasize that to people when I'm talking to them, artists of anything, whether it's music or writing or visual artists, that it's only fair to make sure as many people as possible see your art because if it's if you have this thing that you've spent all this time producing and people want to be a part of it and you're just doing them a favor. It's letting them know that you're going to be doing a show or having a showing or releasing a book or whatever, that really focusing on that business side and getting those pieces in place, or they're doing the artist a favor, but they're also doing the audience a favor because they become aware of great music or great art that's happening around them. So I'm always about giving major kudos to good management and giving the artists the chance to give them a shout out and because it is noticeable. Like I said, we know when you're coming, and it's not just waiting for the email from one source. It comes from every source. I'm signed up for the Citadel House list, and I get it from. But I also see ads and social media posts, and it's wonderful that. And they're very well done. They're not, something that you don't want to see. It's you know, very well done. And so shout out to them and congrats to you
Cool.
for having a good team.
I will tell them. I will tell them.
Absolutely. And so now this is a question that someone asked me to ask you. I won't say who, but someone you know. They were wondering about, and this is a little bit, uh, how do you stay healthy? Because this seems to me, and it seems to them, to be a very grueling sort of schedule. And so, how do you stay healthy? Because I know for my own self from experience driving and traveling, eating right and exercise is just sort of goes out the window. But I do it for a week or two, and you're doing it all the time. You seem like you're a healthy guy. You put on quite a physical performance. So, is there any tricks, or are you just lucky? How does that work?
I think maybe I am to a degree lucky, but I guess there's two sides to health, right? There's the body and then there's the mind. And I think
Right.
I'm very lucky that the main thing I like to do in life is to play. And so as long as I get to do that every night, I'm fairly happy as a person. I'm happy to drive 8 hours as long as I get to play for 2 hours at the end of the day. And when I'm driving, I'm usually listening to my favorite music anyway, or listening to books, or calling friends, or speaking to different people I know in the industry. So I'm fairly happy, like in my mind every day. As far as the body goes, like it's a really good question. I mean, I feel like I'm a big thing, particularly if we're talking about touring in America, which is where I tour a lot. Like eating bad food can be very easy to do on the road. So I guess it's just knowing, what you should and what you shouldn't eat. Um, which should be simple, but I guess for a lot of people it's hard. And I think I am lucky, as you said, it's quite a physical show. I am lucky that it is quite a physical show, because it means that for about 2 hours a day, I'm kind of like jumping around a stage, which, when you add it up to 300 times a year, it's kind of, it seems strange to say as a guitar player, but it's probably almost enough exercise. I should probably be doing more, but it's a really good question. And I think I'm lucky that, that I get to play in that way every night.
Yes, because your show is a workout. I mean, even for the audience, it's, watching you, and there's so much energy. So I could certainly see that that could be a big part of it, keeping you healthy. But you're very important that you talk about, keeping your mind healthy and keeping your attitude and making sure you feed that part of yourself as well as the physical body well, because that's important too, especially if you're writing songs and uh, dealing with people. And I'm sure most people are great, but you may encounter the occasional difficulty, and just having a piece about you that you can deal with that on the road. So that's really, really good, and an important part, I think, for anybody, not just us when you're traveling. Um, so now you're coming back to Newfoundland for the third time. Okay, so I was thinking it was the second time. I must have missed you on the first go around. And so you're coming back, and you have several dates in the province, I think.
I think 5 shows.
5 shows in the province, and they start around the 27th or 26th of October, I believe.
Yeah, so on the 26th, so I'm in Halifax on the 25th, and then I fly out on the 26th, and I play St. John's that night at the ship.
Okay.
And then I go to Gander and play my first show in that town at the golf clubhouse, I believe. And then I'm in Lewisport on the Sunday, the 28th, are we? And then the 29th up in Corner Brook. And then back towards St. John's, I'm playing in Port Rexton on the Monday, the 30th. And then I fly to Copenhagen on the 31st from St.
Okay,
John's.
so lots of opportunities in the province, at least on the east side of the province, to see you while you're here. I'll certainly be at the Citadel House show. I've convinced all my family to go this time. My husband was with me last time. Now my daughters are coming as well. So I think I've sold your show to them and a few other people. But it is such a wonderful show, and I am really looking forward to it. So I think I won't take any more of your time here today. You're a busy guy, and I know you have things you need to be doing. You probably have a show. You have a show tonight?
Yeah, it's in Saskatoon tonight.
In Saskatoon. So tonight and then tomorrow and the next day and onwards. So I will let you go. But thank you so much for taking a little bit of time and talking to us here. And I will see you at the end of the month in Lewisport.
Thank you so much for having me, and a big shout out to the Stairs family and everyone in Lewisport and everyone in Newfoundland. And I can't wait to finish the tour there on a high note, I'm sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you.
See you soon. Goodbye.
You've been listening to Bridges radio program. Find us again next Friday at 8 p.m. Bridges is produced at Citadel House Studios in Lewisport, Newfoundland and Labrador, and is a collaborative project between Carolyn R. Parsons and Citadel House.